Hey guys, thank you for clicking on this video. If you're new here, my name is Sabrina and I make pottery here on this channel. If you've been watching my videos for a while now, thank you for tuning in again. Today I just have a really quick video showing you guys the reclaiming process for clay, basically how you take it from unusable sludge into something like this. So, if that sounds interesting, just keep on watching. Don't forget to like the video if you enjoy it, subscribe for more pottery related content, and you can also find more of my work on Instagram at ceramicSabrina and also on Etsy at ceramicSabrina. So let's get to it. So the first step to reclaiming clay is creating some sort of surface that will draw the moisture out of our clay. So I am just using some plaster of Paris, mixing it up in this bucket, and then pouring it into this container. I got all of these things at the hardware store. Now I am just going to give it a good stir and a firm tap to make sure that it settles flat. And then I'm just going to let that dry for about 24 hours. Next, I'm going in with a paint mixer attached to a drill, and this bucket contains all of the failed pots and trimming scraps and all sorts of fun stuff. And I am just mixing that up with some water to try and create something a little bit more consistent because there are a lot of big chunks in there. In the future, I'm going to try drying out my scraps completely and then adding water because I think that will create something more consistent. Because the chunks aren't really ideal because then they're a little bit more difficult to wedge out. Nothing too crazy, but just a word of advice, I would definitely try doing that instead of just throwing everything in this bucket. So, anyways, next I'm just scooping it out with the good old hands and just kind of spreading it evenly onto the plaster. I did try to clean up the edges of the plasterboard a bit, just so that it wouldn't get contaminated in the clay, and I also decided to just leave it in this kind of black bucket thing because it's way easier to carry and I was kind of scared that I was going to break it. So, just going to spread that out. It's probably about 2 inches thick, and yeah, that just sat out for probably about 2 or 3 days. I would just kind of check it regularly, and then once it feels pretty dry, you know, still wet obviously, but once it felt pretty dry, I decided to just kind of roll it up because the bottom of the slab is going to be on the drier side and then the top needs to dry out more. So just kind of rolling that up and then breaking it up into smaller pieces so that it can dry out even more. So here I am kind of doing that. So then, after sitting there for probably another day or two, it became dry enough for me to wedge up on my canvas table. So I'm just wedging that like I would any other clay. You might notice that it's a little bit marbled. That's just because I did technically mix 2 different Cone 5 clay bodies together. So hopefully that works out fine. I'll let you know. Kinda just happened. But yeah, so I wedged them up, ended up with these beautiful balls of clay. I ended up with about 16 pounds of clay, so not too shabby. I've probably got another 30 pounds in that bucket that I'm going to reclaim very soon. Yeah, reclaiming clay was way easier than I thought it would be. I just put it off for way too long, so hopefully if you are in that same situation, this video kinda helped you out. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye!